Grace Covington, and I'm a home builder developer, and I've been, at it almost 25 years in this career, in this industry, and it doesn't seem that long. I look younger than I am.
Well, and how did you first get interested?
Honestly, I wasn't interested to begin with because I grew up around it. My dad's a contractor, architect. My mom went to school for interior design, so I always enjoyed being around it. You know, he would design buildings in downtown Denver, and you know, we'd go visit the job sites, and I'd have just like all of his samples, like tile samples and concrete samples and brick samples. So I always thought it was cool. I just didn't think that that would ever be where I would end up. And I answered a job ad it was my freshman year of college. And I said, you know, I need a second job, because I waited tables at night, went to school full time, and wanted to make a little more money. So I answered a job ad at a construction company in Wellington, Colorado, which is, do you know where that is? Yeah, most people don't. It's it used to be like a truck stop, like between Fort Collins and Cheyenne, Wyoming. Now it's actually quite a large little bedroom city. So I answered a job ad there, got a job with a small company called Anderson Construction, and just kind of pursued my career from there. And I was working for a small company is a really good benefit, and whether it's home building or whether it's any industry, because you get to learn a lot. I was able to learn everything about home building and development, from literally finding the lots and finding the land and developing the land in the lots, to the house plans, developing the house plans, building the homes, closing the homes, bidding the homes, financing the homes. All of it was very, very educational for me. For me, yes, but I think for everybody it's a little different. So in this career, my career as a home builder developer is, you know, you have to start somewhere. So you obviously start at the bottom and work your way up. And along the way you find what your skill sets are. So for my case, my college education was key, because I went to school for pre-law, English, you know, lit, so I could be a good lawyer. Obviously, I'm not a lawyer, but a lot of the skills I learned in college helped me with communication, with legal contracts, how to run a business, setting up a business. So those type of skill sets I was able to apply. You know, also in our industry, there are people that deal in the finance side of things. So you can go get a college degree in accounting, in finance, and be in the accounting finance department. In this industry, you can get a degree in marketing and be in the marketing department. You don't even have to get a degree in construction, in home building. You can just go to a trade school, and a lot of our contractors, they make very good livings working with their hands and working in the skilled trades. So I like to think of home building and development as, like, it's not as specific as, say, engineering. And mind you, engineering is not necessarily specific, because there are multiple disciplines in engineering. But you know, engineering, you go to a specific school, because I actually did start out in engineering. I just got bored and said, I'm going to change that degree. You go to specific classes, you have a specific coursework. You know, you are on track to be in engineering, you know, whether that's civil, environmental, mechanical, it's still like a set skill set, and you kind of stay on that path. With medicine, the same thing. You know, you go to school, you target whether you want to be a nurse or a doctor or a surgeon, and then you just go down that path, and it's very specific to that path. In our industry, you can go down multiple paths. You could be a business owner, you could be in finance, you could be in marketing, you could be sales, you could work in the trades. So just depending on which part of the industry fits your needs or fits your personality or what you want to do, then you would acquire that knowledge. And so whether it's trade school and learning how to practically apply it with your hands, and you know, going through an apprenticeship or a careers in construction type program, or if it's you want to be managing things, and so going to college to get a degree in construction management combined with business management, to run an overall company. There's really a lot of so many different opportunities in this industry. Our industry, all personality traits are found. There's one or two personality traits which really are key and really are huge in this industry, is courage. And honestly, you need that in anything you do, any career you're going to. And just tenacity, strength. You know, people who aren't as familiar with construction, home building, land development, it really does appear to be a rough and tumble. You know, people think construction workers are dirty, or, you know, it's a hard environment to work in. And that's true to a certain extent. But really you just need the perseverance and the strength, because it's not just the work you do. It's a very high pace environment with a lot of stress, and you just need to have courage and be strong. So speaking to home building in particular, home building and development, you got to start at the beginning. So typically we have positions available such as like field technician, which would be more like a labor type. That would be an entry level, and those go for more than minimum wage. Our industry is an industry that pays higher than minimum wage. Salaried positions, some of the more entry-level salaried positions in our industry would be like a marketing assistant or assistant superintendent, but that really requires a couple years, 3 years experience. You can start out as an accounting assistant. So I mean, kind of like those assistant type roles that are the salaried between the 30 to 34 and 40,000 range. And then you have, the more experience you get the promotions. So for example, marketing, go from a marketing assistant to a marketing specialist, and then you'd be in the mid 40 range. And then you go to a manager type role, and that gets you into like the 50 range. And then director, and it depends also on the size too, right? So especially when you get to a director type position, they range anywhere from 65 to 85 or 95,000. But that depends on how large the company is. What is the bandwidth of the company? What are the roles and responsibilities? Because when you're looking at a career and trying to figure which path you want to take, pay is definitely a very important part of it. Figuring out where you want to be, what path you want to go on, and how much responsibility you want or not, right? Some people just decide, hey, I want to just stay in a management type role for my career and I'm good. Some people might say, hey, you know what, I'm just good, being the accounting assistant for my career. Or somebody might say, hey, you know what, I'm going to get a job at this company, mid-sized company, say, as a manager, because I want to use that as a stepping stone 5, 6, 10 years down the road to get a higher level job, higher paying job at a different firm. Mm-hmm. Everyone's got the path that they want to take. But I do have to say, when you do start, you start somewhere. It's in that minimum wage, mid 30s to 40, and then you work your way up from there. I'm going to just speak specifically to home building. So depending on which department you're in, and so going back to we just discussed salary and pay. So your department also depends not just your wage, because you could be at like 35,000 or 250,000, right? It just depends which department, what level you're at, and how many people you oversee and how many projects you have. So in our industry, home building, the main departments would be purchasing and logistics, which is kind of a dual role in the office and out in the field, because purchasing and logistics is a key role. Pretty much it's what makes this industry and every industry go around. You have to procure and buy things in order to produce what it is you're selling. You have construction, like true construction, so the superintendents, the field supervisors, they are typically out in the field. They have an active job site. Typically a superintendent would have their own job site. They don't run to different ones, but it does depend on how small or big the company is. And then you've got customer care, which is warranty, And typically you'll see that split. You have to have support team in the office, writing work orders, taking we don't take calls so much anymore. It's more electronic online, logging in the requests, scheduling things, and then you have people out in the field putting eyes on things and working directly with the homeowners to address warranty items. Sales is another department in home building that would be, we call it out in the field. So if it's not in the corporate office, it's out where we're building and selling. And they will usually find our sales teams in our model homes. And the marketing department and usually the department heads all usually stay within the corporate office realm. So with home building, it's this weird dichotomy. You always get this, well, there's the corporate office and then there's the field. And the corporate office entails pretty much everybody except for sales and construction. And everybody else is in the office. Our company is different in that whether you're corporate office or whether you're sales construction, we're always kind of out and about. Field people will come in here, we'll go out there. We try to spend time with different departments to learn, what those different departments are doing. Our home building really is a good diverse place to learn lots of skills and have lots of opportunity to figure out which department you want to be in. As the owner, when you own a company, you never get to stop working, really. I can work anywhere from 40 to 80 to 90 hours a week. It just depends. Usually when you are the owner of the business, you work way more than full time. It's about 50, 60 hours. But if you know how to balance your time, work hard, play hard, I call it. If I want to take a long weekend, then I'll work long days. If I don't and I just want to have regular weekend, I'll work regular days. Typically, if it's a good business, we don't like to wear our people out. So the majority of our employees, well, all employees, if they're full-time, they work 40 hours a week. Part-time would be less than 30. So, and that's like, and when you're looking at a career, so you're getting out of high school and you're looking, or out of college, you want to look at that full-time versus part-time, because when part-time positions don't have the benefits that go with it. So like 401k, health, vacation, that type of thing. So anyone that's a full-time employee, depending on the business and what benefits package they offer, would get salary, vacation, 401k, health, those type of benefits.
Gotcha.
But we never want to work people more than 40 hours a week. Full-time should be full-time. And I know there's businesses and career fields where frankly, people do end up working 50 hours, 6-hour weeks sometimes. But, that just depends, I think, on the business truly. So as the owner of the business, and I have a partner, my husband and I are partners, my overall responsibilities daily are to see what's happening that day. Where am I needed? Where do I need to lead? My first and foremost responsibility is leading. Having the ability to look and see what my team needs daily, weekly, not just daily and weekly, but I'm always planning a month out, 5 years out, 10 years out. It could be something simple as one day I'm returning lots of emails and lots of meetings. Usually when you are owner of a business and you are like upper higher management, you tend to have a good portion of your day in meetings, a good portion of your day returning emails and phone calls, and then a good portion, doing the projects that you set out to do for that day or that week. Benefits in my career, just being able to build communities and create communities. We are home builders and developers, so we develop land so we could build homes on it, so we can have people move into those homes and create a community. That's been a huge benefit. Also, benefit is just having a great team. All of our team, our employees, even our trade partners, our bank partners, everybody we do business with, the huge benefit is we get to be with those people every day and interact with those people every day. Challenges, lots of challenges in I've had in my career, mainly because I am a woman, and in construction and home building there's not many of us, so that's always been a challenge, but it's never been a challenge that isn't insurmountable, and that I've never really thought of it, right? It just makes things a little more challenge, little extra time spent doing certain things, or maybe a few disadvantages here and there, but overall it hasn't really been a challenge. In essence, it's challenged me to be better. Absolutely. Again, it all comes down to the business and the company you work for. So truly I recommend, when you're looking for a career, whether it's in this field, this business, or a different field or industry, the company, the culture is huge. And you can have companies out there that don't really put any emphasis on family, who really just want to see you show up, work overtime, get the project done, and that's really all they care about. And then you have companies that have really good culture that basically encourage their teams and their employees, hey, take your vacation days. If you're sick, stay home and get better. If you are having a baby, take your pregnancy leave. And if you are, feeling burnt out and you want, to go off for a day, just do that. So I can't speak to all businesses, all industries. I can really only speak to our business, which in our team, we are huge on making sure everybody's taking care of themselves and their families, because it really should be family first, and then work, because you're not gonna really do well at work if you're not doing well at home. And I can say there are companies out there and cultures out there that don't have room for that, and that don't give quite as good of an opportunity for somebody who's pursuing a career with their company to take care of their families. So I would just recommend, wherever, I know young people, I'm sure, are going to be watching this and trying to decide, hey, where do I work? Where do I go? What career path do I take? And sometimes it's not even about your career path. It's about, where do you want to be every day? Is it a place that lets you take care of you, your family, and is it a place that takes care of you? You want to be there every day. And is it something you just love to do every day?
Mm-hmm.
All of it. My favorite is the people. Mm-hmm. We're human beings. God created us to be with each other and to spend time with each other. And I don't know any other industry, because I've worked in different industries. In high school, I always had another job when I was working construction, retail, restaurants, etc. This industry, home building development, we encounter so many people, and I get to be around so many people, good people, that it just kind of it wakes me up every day and encourages me to do better and do everything that I can each and every day to make the world better, simply because there's good people in it. I think all industries will, they always change. Ours is changing slightly in that roles might change a little bit. The way we build houses, I know eventually will have to change. Things like 3D printing are making things, they're not widely available right now, but I think we'll see a lot of that, 3D printing. And then now what do we do with the human capital that was maybe creating this faucet, right? Now that a printer's printing it. Just kind of reimagining how humans interact with the tactile materials and goods that we use to create housing. And I don't know, I can't quite answer that. I know things are changing. I know new technologies are coming out, new ways of building and new ways of development we're tweaking stuff every day, every year. But I do think that big changes will be coming within the next 5 to 10 years. Like, maybe one day we will be able to put everything in a printer, and I don't think we'll ever literally print the house. Like hit the button and there it is. But I wouldn't be surprised if within a decade we were able to print everything the majority of things that were in a house, and then be able to just put it on a nice foundation and say, there you go. I would say learn as much as you can. Don't be afraid to take on jobs that you think are, insignificant, dirty even in this industry, or unimportant, because you never know what you're going to learn in those things that we like to call mundane. The mundane, the day-to-day is where you learn the most. I would also say just be flexible, be open to change. As builders, we're manufacturers, so we make things, and we make things out in the elements, typically. And you have to be flexible to whether it's weather or, acts of God, fires, rain, etc. Other human beings, you have a lot of dealings with other human beings, so being flexible and open to change is huge.